Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? We got to talk about Arsenal versus Brighton at home. Ended 1-1. And boy, the Premier League has officially returned with those terrible referees. I know that's what you're going to say. Egal, you're always making excuses. No, you had to see it today. What happened today was outrageous. Outrageous refereeing. I still cannot believe what I witnessed with the whole situation with Declan Rice getting a red card for that incident. And also, I just feel like this game was an absolute robbery. The Declan Rice red card cost us the points today. We had opportunities, but obviously those opportunities we also didn't capitalize. So you could blame that also. But overall, it was not a great game. First half, I thought we were decent. Second half, we were just suffering. We had to. We were down to 10 men. It is what it is. But a lot of people are going to be sitting here today and saying, Egal, you need to take accountability for your team's performance. Like somebody here is saying in the chat. No, I think today, if that referee does not give the red card, which is obviously a scandalous decision, we go on to win that game comfortably and we don't concede a single goal. But the fact that we conceded that goal that quickly, the red card shook up the team. It kind of we had to get ourselves sorted, and we should have maybe defended better. We should have maybe got an opportunity to. We should have been a little bit more clinical with our chances. Overall, we still could have had opportunities to win the game. We also had a lot of opportunities to lose the game. David Reyes saved us on a couple of occasions. The defender saved us on a couple of occasions. But it's going to be interesting to hear what you guys have to say. Personally, to me, today we could have easily dropped all 3 points. At least we got the win at the end. I know you guys are going to be like, no, we have to win. But the reality is we didn't win. It wasn't the best performance. But I'm not sitting here saying the team deserves too much criticism, because outside of one or two things, I don't think the game was that bad. But Souls, you probably completely disagree with me. What are you saying?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be the opposite of both of you in the stream, but I guess that's what's going to make it fun, because at least there's a bit of dialogue and debates that can happen in this one. Because I know Dio definitely and I disagree on some points of the game today, but for me, you know what it is? It's just disappointing, because I don't want to. Obviously, now that we've had a few hours to kind of digest what's happened, and obviously the game was at 12:30, finished at around 2:30, so we've had a good few hours to kind of calm down, watch other football, and just kind of get on with things as well. But for me, I'm just disappointed in a few things. And obviously, for me, the talking points are, I feel like there's elements of what I wanted to see a growth in that I'm not seeing a growth in, which is the emotions that this team plays with. And the reason why I say is because one of the things that I've kind of seen, we're like one of the only teams that constantly needs the fans, and we constantly ask the fans to get behind us, which I understand atmosphere and creating the atmosphere does massively, change the tides in games. You can have that 12th man, or in our case, that 11th man. But for me, it's like Odegaard constantly asking the crowd to get behind them. Other players constantly going over to the home fans saying, can you raise the voice? And then for me, it's like I want them to get away from that mindset. I want them to be able to encourage themselves to actually perform. And that's the kind of mindset I'm looking for. And I'm looking for that mental growth this season. So far, I haven't seen it in this game, especially because this was the first game where a bit of adversity came our way. And I feel like we failed at. But obviously, we can get into the roars of this, because I know this is just an opening, like how we're feeling about it. I mean, I don't think it's going to help that Man City won, and Man City won convincingly against a side that's supposed to be coming back to, sort of that European contention in West Ham this season. But my thoughts on, I'm just disappointed. I'm going to put it as that.
Dale, I know sometimes you have the animations and you have the photos. Do you have that today for the Declan Rice thing?
No, I do. I have a whole video, but I know we can't play a whole video. But sad, I can send you the video if you.
I can play still images.
Yeah.
So what part do you want to show the people?
No, here's my thing about the rule, right? And let me first start by talking about the things that we did not do that we should have done. We didn't take our chances when we needed to take our chances. I can criticize the team for that. In those times, this is where you take your chances and you score the goals that you need to score, understandably so. But you can also categorically say that up until the red card, Brighton was not going to win this game. Brighton was never going to win this game, and I'll tell you why. It is evident that they were not going to win this game because even down to 10 men, they did not win the game. After 90 minutes plus 6 extra minutes, even us down to 10 men, they still did not win the game. We tied the game with 1 man down. So that tells me categorically that with 11 men on the pitch, I don't think that they would have been able to go ahead and win the game. If they could not break down a 10-man team, then that solidifies that.
No, but your mentality changes when you're a man down.
I agree with you, Sauls, but what I'm saying is you're still a man down, and they could not capitalize on taking that opportunity of a man down to be able to win 2-1, 3-1, whatever the case is. Of course, your mentality changes. You want to defend stronger. You want to do a lot of things better. But the point is you're still a man down. You're still a man short. And that man short means that you lack something that they have. So my thing is, up until that red card, it didn't look like Brighton was going to win this game. Of course, in football, anything can happen. But alas, we came to a 1-1 draw. Now, let's talk about the Declan Rice thing. There's 2 things I want to talk about. The first one is, what's his name? Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro kicking the ball away in the first half, over 50 yards. That wasn't given as a yellow card. If you go and play the entire video clip, you'll see that what happened was Declan and Veltman got into the tackle over there. Veltman went to the ground. Declan immediately turned and walked away from Veltman. He walked away. So he did not put himself in a position where he was blocking the ball. Veltman had the ball, rolled the ball. The ball clipped Declan on the left leg first. Declan was talking to the referee with his hands up. He looked up to the side. The ball had rolled down and Declan kicked it away. Now, if you've ever played football, he rolled the ball to Declan.
Yeah,
it touched him on the left leg.
They're tackling each other.
Yeah, they tackle each other. Of course, I
fall.
agree. That they fall.
Declan,
watch this.
Declan Rice stumbles. He looks at him.
He's good, and he turns around.
Walks away.
Looking at the referee.
This guy then watch where the ball hits.
See what he
does. The ball hits his ankle.
Hits him on the ankle. Then Declan notices the ball and just turns to kick the ball away. If you've ever played football, when he
kicks it away against the rules.
No. But here's the point, though. Here's the point. Here's what I want to make a point. If you've ever played football on the pitch,
it's against the rules. The rules are the rules.
Listen, you left the ball behind. That's where the foul was. You left the ball behind. You didn't stand in front of the ball where the foul occurred. He left the ball and the player, right? My thing is, if you've ever played football, right?
This is what the Premier League said. The issue was the second yellow came from Declan Rice delaying the restart.
How did he delay the restart when he walked away from it?
But then they got community noted by Twitter saying that the ball was still moving and would not have been legally played.
Yeah, but you can go down, touch the ball, and kick it.
I know, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He rolled the ball on Declan's leg.
He could have done that.
But he didn't do it, though. What he did,
the delay of the restart did happen.
Let's talk about what.
Okay, I'll answer a simple question. Did Rice kick the ball or not?
Yeah, hold on.
Did Rice kick the ball or not?
I want to talk about the whole scenario because what you're doing is you're picking just one part where Rice touched the ball. Yes, Rice touched the ball. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Hold on. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If a player, right, leaves the scene of the tackle, he's not blocking the ball. He's not blocking the opponent. He's walking away. His back is to the opponent. You take the ball and roll it at his feet. It touches him and he kicks it away. If you've ever really played football, you know that when you're waiting for... Hold on. Let me finish.
Who cares if we play football or not?
If I finish... No, not you. No, this is not to you.
Do you not feel like we were wronged?
Can I just finish what I'm saying? Can I just finish what I'm saying? All right. All I'm saying is, like, when I used to play football in high school, when you're talking to the referee, right? As far as you're concerned, the ball is not in play yet because the referee hasn't blown. He's not blown his whistle for the game to restart, for the foul to be taken. Of course, sometimes quick free kicks are taken. We know all of this. The fact that he's talking to the referee and he sees the ball at his feet and he's like, move away from my way. I'm walking. He was still walking away. And then someone comes from behind, tries to, and if he wanted to play a quick pass on the ground right there, Veltman could have stopped the ball with his hand, passed it across to his goalkeeper immediately, or passed it to the other player who was standing on his left-hand side. He didn't. He rolled it. And look, I applaud Veltman for his dark arts. He knew what he was doing. He rolled the ball towards Declan. He knew that if he was going to kick the ball against Declan, it would still go to a throw-in. It would still be their ball, whatever the case is. The guy knew what he was doing, and he went for it, and Declan fell for it, sadly. But when people say Declan put himself in a position to be given a yellow card, I'm like, no, that is such a soft yellow card in the world of anything, to the extent that a player is walking away from the tackle. There's a big difference if the player stayed at the tackle, stood in front of Veltman as he was getting up and trying to block him from actually taking the restart. You rolled the ball to where the player was 8 yards away to then go and say he obstructed your game. Like, how is that even a thing? But, it is what it is. Like I said, with 10 men, they still could not beat us, which tells me that they were not going to beat us if we had 11 players on the pitch. So, yeah.
Souls, I'm just going to ask you a simple question. Did you think it was a second yellow challenge or situation?
Yeah, 100%. The rules are the rules.
What part of it did you think was the second yellow?
The fact that he kicked the ball away. That's the rule.
By the way, the ball was already headed in that direction.
Doesn't matter. Just move out of the way. Don't do it.
One second.
You're on a yellow card. Stop being stupid.
Carry on. 1 second. The player himself got booted in the back of the leg. Veltman didn't get a yellow card. Declan Rice got a yellow card. If he would have got a yellow card for faking an injury, or if he would have got a yellow card for the initial scuffle in the beginning, and they both would have got a yellow, maybe there would be a little bit more of understanding. My main issue with this is the lack of consistency, where one guy is getting a yellow card for time wasting when he's already on a yellow, and the other guy is not even getting a yellow card for kicking the ball halfway across the pitch when the ball is already out of play, miles out of play. Number two, the second thing, the ball hit Declan Rice in the back of his heel as he's walking away, and he has no idea anybody is around him. You thinking that he's doing this intentionally to waste time is actually crazy, because he's not doing that. If you look at the video, which
I don't care what his intentions are. The rules are the rules.
I know, but the rule is that the ball must be a dead ball for it to be a free kick. So why didn't the referee enforce that with Veltman? Like, hey, no. Hold on. Why did the referee first enforce the first rule, which was broken by Veltman, which is this is a free kick, put the ball there.
Neither of us are saying he didn't kick the ball.
I agree he kicked the ball. I'm saying Veltman rolled the ball towards him, though. He was walking away. There's a big difference if he stood in front of Veltman and obstructed the play.
Veltman actually hit the ball off him.
Yeah, Veltman first rolled it towards him. It touched Declan on the leg first. The ball has already even touched. So are you saying that when Veltman rolled the ball and it touched Rice on the back of his left leg, that was already Rice interrupting the game?
Arsenal can never do no wrong.
That's not the point, though.
It's all the referees. The referees are always against us. It's never a red card. She shouldn't even got his first yellow card. Fuck me.
The first yellow card is a yellow card.
No. Oh my God, the ref's a disgrace.
The first yellow card is a yellow card. That's not even an argument.
Please, for 1 second, just listen to what I'm saying. I am not saying that this part where he kicks the ball away, it does look bad, but everything leading up to it is completely being ignored, especially the fact that he doesn't even realize that the player is kicking the ball.
You have to now, because you can't just say, okay, he fouled. You can't say
the same thing happened last week. Jesus got his ass grabbed, and the guy got a yellow card for pushing the player.
No, so Egal, here's what I wanted to just address. It's not even about whether it's Arsenal or not. My point is, we all know that there are rules to this game. A bunch of rules had been broken before Declan even touched the ball away, which I understand what you're saying. He's on a yellow card. He shouldn't even be touching the ball eventually. But what about all the rules that were broken by the other player before it even got to the part where Declan actually touched the ball away? Declan was walking away from the scene of the tackle. He didn't stand in front of the player. He doesn't
look back at him again.
He doesn't obstruct the player. He's actually talking to the referee, raising his hands and going, but come on, man, that's not it. Now, he rolls the ball to Declan, as you can see. He rolled the ball in Declan's path. He could have rolled the ball to the left over there and passed the ball. There's a lot of space to his left. There's a lot of space anywhere. He knew what he was doing, Sauls. So my point is, you rolling the ball towards the player's feet.
Moving before he even touched it?
You rolling towards, and then he then notices the ball because he was walking and he's like, oh, okay. Probably just like, tap this away from the rail. Like, what's going on here? This guy literally knew what he was doing. There was a lot of space to his left. My point is, yes, we can criticize Declan for that touch on the ball. But then what then happens right after that again? He goes on and kicks Declan Rice. So there's no foul for him when he rolls the ball. There's no foul for him when he rolls the ball in Declan's direction. But then they want to penalize the player who touches the ball when the ball was rolled in your direction. Declan didn't go to the ball. The ball came to his feet. And then he tapped it away.
The ball actually hit him first.
Yeah, the ball rolled in his feet and he kicked it away. So what are we saying here? Like, you know, anyways.
My main issue is
Veltman. Look, see, Veltman dark arts is very good.
We
Very
cannot
good.
talk
You have
about
to
the
say
rest
that.
of the game until we come to some sort of agreement on this part of the game. Can we agree that Declan Rice getting sent off is extremely harsh? Extremely harsh. Even if it's within the rules or somewhat subjective rules, Gunnar Solskjaer, you have to agree that this is extremely harsh, and it's not normal precedent to see this kind of thing happen. Souls, I was talking to you. Sorry, bro. Can you hear me?
Am I allowed to speak? Because every single 2 words I say, I'm getting cut off. So am I allowed to speak? Or
Of course. Go ahead.
okay. So it is a red card. It's a second yellow. It's not a fact of the matter. It's a straight red. It was a second yellow. From the rules of the game, this is a second yellow. Now, what my point is this, right, is that for me, for someone like Declan Rice, as experienced as he is and the leader that he needs to be, for me, I expect better. I hold players accountable for their mistakes. This does not mean like I'm disgraced by him, get him out of the club. I'm not even going to that extent. Sometimes you can, in isolation, blame a player for a certain game going wrong. And that's all I'm saying. Declan Rice today, for the way that he did it, firstly, this shouldn't even be a talking point because his stupid first yellow card shouldn't have happened. Where was his head for that one? That's the point I'm trying to make. Is that, yes, okay, cool. This is definitely a yellow. Now, we could talk about the consistency of the referee. We've been banging on about that. We know they're inconsistent. But that still does not mean this is not a yellow. The rules are still the rules. Regardless, we can all agree he kicked the ball. However it came about. Now, for Declan Rice, he needed to be smarter. He needed to play the dark horse better. And he didn't. He got outsmarted. That's as plain and simple as it is. And that for me is where I'm disappointed in this. For me, that's a second yellow and it's a red card. I'm not even debating that because the rules we've all agreed to. We can talk about whether the referee has implemented or enforced the rules, but at the same time, Declan Rice is still wrong. That doesn't change. That red card still happens. Veltman should have got a yellow, cool. But that doesn't change anything. The red card still stands. So what really are we arguing here? Because the fact of the matter is, and this, I'm actually gonna tally this up this season because I'm actually sick of it. Every single result that goes against us, somehow we blame the ref. Some way we'll find a way to blame the ref. We'll absolve ourselves of any responsibility when a result goes against us. But as soon as we get a draw or a loss, it's somehow, some way the referee's fault. And that's what I'm sick and tired of. Today was on Declan Rice's red card, plain and simple.
Don't you feel like the referee doesn't usually give that red? Doesn't usually give that second yellow.
So Egal, let me.
No player stupid enough to be on a yellow card and do this.
Let me address what you just said again. I hear what you're saying when you say at the time Declan touched the ball. Now you have to remember again. The reason I'm saying this is Declan was stupid to fall for Veltman's setup. Veltman rolled the ball towards his feet in his direction. There's a big difference, Sauls, if Declan was the one who got up after that tackle and stood in front of the ball to block Veltman. Then I would say Declan is being stupid. I'd be like, you're being stupid. Why would you go stand in front of the player and block the ball before he takes his free kick? Declan's back was turned to Veltman. The fact that we want to ignore that Declan was walking away from the tackle, meaning that he didn't want to be part of that shenanigan. He was walking away, and guess what? You rolled the ball to his feet. The last time he saw you were on the floor, so he didn't even know if it was you who rolled it or maybe the ball just rebounded and kept on rolling towards him. And he kicked it away from his leg, like while walking and still talking to the referee. He didn't boot it away. He just literally slid it away. So my point is, where is the accountability and where is the consistency for the rule that says a player wants to take a free kick, it needs to be a dead ball? The referee ignores that one. He ignores the fact that the player is the one that rolled the ball in Declan's path. He ignored this. He ignores the fact that the ball touched Declan on the left leg before it actually dinged to his right, where he now saw it. That ball touched his left leg from behind. He was walking away, so he doesn't have eyes at the back of his head. So if we're going to say that, yes, you kicking the ball away is a yellow card, you have to look at all the other factors of how he got there. Did he intentionally go kick it away? Did he intentionally stop the continuity of play? That was not intentional. That was the dark arts. He fell victim to it. And that's why I said, I understand it's a second yellow, it's a red. However it is, my point still stands that we cannot now say Declan intentionally stopped play from what we can see. That was not look, I hear that I hear you that if you touch the ball, it's a yellow. I agree with you on that. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is the activities that happened before he was able to touch the ball was all something that Veltman planned to do. He rolled the ball in his direction. He was going to kick the ball either on him or quickly find a through pass. And guess what? Declan sees the ball just like, oh, out of my way. Boom. He kicked the ball. Yes, that's the yellow card. But what about the player who wanted to play a rolling ball, which is a foul, which means the free kick needs to be retaken, which means that the free kick should never even have been, like, it should have just been like, all right, stop, all of you, take the ball back. You roll the ball 8 yards away from where you were towards the player. 8 yards away from where you were towards the player. You could have rolled that ball to your left of the lot of space. You could have rolled that ball to your right. There's still space right there ahead of you. You rolled it directly in the path of the player who is backing you and who's walking away. Declan wasn't facing him. So that's my thing is, I hear you on Declan touching the ball is stupid and that's a yellow, but we need to also contextualize everything that happened around it. That was just the dark arts, and they were better at it. Veltman was better at the dark arts, and he got the best of Declan, and that's what I think happened. So It is what it is. So from now on, we need to be sharp with our dark arts too.
The one thing Souls hates is when we lose a game and we don't heavily criticize the team. I don't think the team deserves a lot of criticism today. Am I crazy?
Never said that.
No, but sometimes that's how it comes off, bro.
What gives you that impression when I've said we need to take
accountability?
That does not mean criticize. No.
Yeah, but everybody needs.
My problem is is that every time we have a result like this, somehow it's the ref's fault. Sometimes we just need to hold the players accountable.
Can you not acknowledge that there was a scandalous, game-changing event?
So everybody needs to take accountability, not just us, right? The referee needs to take accountability for the fact that there were certain rules that he did not implement as well before Declan's rule was implemented. Those rules are all part of the game. We need to take account. Hold on. Declan needs to take accountability. Hold on. Declan needs to take accountability for touching that ball in that moment. I agree with you on that. And I've said Declan was stupid for touching the ball. I've criticized him for touching the ball. But we cannot now ignore the fact that the referees also need to take accountability for allowing a rolling ball free kick, which is not allowed in the rule book, for allowing the player to roll the ball in the direction of another player.
And kick it. So it doesn't really matter.
But I'm saying, if we talk about,
have you ever seen?
If we talk about accountability,
have you ever seen another player ever get a second yellow for that?
No, because no one's stupid enough to be on a yellow card and do that. That's the fact.
Bro, that's not stupid. That's just unlucky.
No, it's not unlucky. It's stupid. It's not unlucky. It's stupid.
The Veltman bought the yellow card.
All you needed to do was just carry on walking. Why with your other foot did you decide to kick it away? Why? You're stupid enough to get the first yellow card. Firstly, that yellow card was stupid as well and unneeded. And then you decide to get the second. His head's gone, man. I'm telling you, like I'm doing is
the first yellow card. He jumped in for a tackle that was a little bit late. I hear you. It's stupid. It was a stupid tackle. But if he didn't go for that tackle and that ball had been taken and they had countered and done something, you would sit here and say, why didn't Rice do something with that tackle? He stopped a flow of play, regardless of the fact that he got a yellow card. Sometimes in football, are you not going to try to win your first ball?
Then you don't do
it.
Exactly.
How about the lack of consistency?
I've always said the referees are inconsistent, but it's not just against us. So there's no conspiracy here that all of a sudden
nobody's saying it's a conspiracy. I'm just saying that if you're going to hold Declan accountable, which I have, for him touching the ball, you also have to hold the referee accountable for ignoring the other rules in the game that he should have given. We can't just hold one person responsible for a whole situation that happened where 3-4 people had a part to play.
It is a delay of play, though. It doesn't matter whether the ball's rolling or not.
I hear you, but there was listen. Hold on.
Many players have gone down, bent over.
It was a delay of play, but before the delay of play, there was also a rule broken, which is the ball has to be a dead ball if a free kick has to be taken.
Yeah, but you can make it a dead ball. That's not a problem.
So my point is, we want to hold Declan accountable for his part, which is kicking the ball and delaying play. Yes, yellow card, fine. Give him a red. Are you going to hold the player as well who kicked Declan Rice from behind his own card? Hold on. Are you also going to
given him a yellow?
Are you also?
The ball.
Hold on, listen. Are you also? Are you also going to?
If he doesn't move the ball, he kicks the ball.
Bro, he's kicking him regardless if he moves the ball or not.
No, he doesn't. The ball's there. He moves the ball, and that's
The
why
ball is already moving.
The ball was
from
moving,
momentum
Sauls.
from
Sauls,
hitting
the
his
ball
back
was
heel.
moving.
All right,
Don't do
okay,
that,
it's the
Sauls.
ref's fault. The ref's corrupt.
No, I'm
okay.
not saying it's the
Okay,
ref's
cool.
fault. You're missing.
It
You
is
see,
the ref's fault.
no, hold on, Egal.
No,
What
it is
Sauls?
the
What
ref's
you're
fault. He's
doing,
corrupt.
Sauls? What
He's
you're
a City
doing is
fan. We got
Sauls.
paid
What
by
you
City. Brown envelope settings.
Sauls? What you're
Let's just
doing
blame the
is
ref.
Sauls. What you're
These
doing,
conversations are so boring because it happen every single time. Yeah, we don't get a result our way.
Sauls. What you're doing right now is going both extremes. You're saying, oh, just because I'm not saying Declan did not deserve a yellow card for touching the ball. Yes, you delayed play by touching the ball. But how the ball got to him is what I'm talking about. You want to ignore all of that. You want to ignore the fact that somebody
I've answered that question.
hold on. I know
told you what my
everybody wants to
interpretation
ignore the fact that somebody rolled the ball towards his direction. He didn't go to the ball to obstruct play. He didn't go to the ball to delay play. His back was turned to the ball when the ball came to his side and he tapped it away from his feet. You could simply have classified that as the referee as player is walking towards me and he sees the ball and moves it away from his path because it's not his ball. You've already blown for a free kick. So what are we, so let's not.
Souls is clearly annoyed. We're not going to get an agreement on this. Let's move on to this part because I think this is important. Did you guys notice the swing of how the game went? Second half, first half. Let me show you a visual image of how the game went. So as you can see here, this was the end of the game stats. Brighton look way more dominant, but it's mostly from the second half. If you look at the first half, it's very close. We still conceded possession at times, but they really did not threaten at all. They had 3 chances. As you can see, Brighton's 3 shots of the whole first half are right there, and it's not really much. And then Souls, when you're getting annoyed at this performance, are you getting annoyed from the second half performance? Because second half we suffered. We took 19 shots in the second half. We gave them 76% possession. We sat back. We had an extra defender on. After the 76
you had to sit back. We're 1 man short. We're playing 10 men. We're playing 10 men. We're playing 5 at the back. You have to sit back. I mean,
I know, but a lot
position,
brother, these are not my words, but a lot of Arsenal fans on social media today were upset at Mikel Arteta's approach to try to secure the point rather than go for the win. And in my opinion, I'm okay with the end result because we still had opportunities and we didn't capitalize, but we didn't get punished from it. I want to know what Souls thinks because Souls is clearly a little bit more heated than us. What are you saying, Souls? When you see this second half,
I don't think the players handled this right, or maybe the manager. I don't know who to really. I'm holding them all accountable to some degree because for me there was a lot of head loss since the red card. There was no control of the game. We didn't try to. I understand the idea of like switching your mentality and going defensive. I'm in agreement with that. But when you do switch your mentality, you also need to then kind of maintain control of the game as well. Not every single time that the moment the ball comes to you, you're clearing it out. Try and hold on to ball. Try and ruin the pattern of play that Brighton are doing, their press. You've got to interrupt it because in reality, right, even when you look at that first half, yes, we were really good in the first half up until the Milner injury. When Milner came off, that's when we couldn't find the flow again. We weren't playing to the same intensity, which I understand. You're not going to be able to play to the high intensity for full 45 minutes of a half. But the problem that I have is when you didn't get a red card, it's how you manage that red card situation that I'm disappointed with the team with. And also with the idea of to be fair, the substitution from Arteta are completely understandable. Bringing Calafiori on, bringing, obviously Martinelli on for the pacing behind, taking Trossard off, for example. But for me, it's the loss of control is concerning.
Do you know what my point was? My point was Arsenal's performance down to 10 men was being criticized. Did you think that was the issue?
In what way do you mean it's being criticized? Because I don't know.
Our whole approach of defending, adding another defender on the pitch.
I don't have a problem with that.
Also,
my problem is
the fact that we're trying to play counter. The fact that we're trying to play counter instead of trying to play it out the back and holding on to possession.
Not necessarily the counter, because I understand in certain situations you kind of need to do that. But what I didn't like was when Brighton did start finding the flow and started creating opportunities and stuff like that, we weren't trying to kill the momentum of the game by controlling, by making those passes, by playing out the back. I feel like that's where my criticism comes from the team, is that I understand the idea of going counter and, hitting them on the break because they started to press up and their line actually shifted a lot more forward into our half rather than, playing a bit deeper. So I understand the reasonings behind why Arteta did what he did and brought Martinelli on to play that counter football. But there were moments where, like, Partey had, I think, a few moments where instead of just like maybe passing it to Ben White, passing it back and just trying to kill a bit of the momentum and take control of that game again, we were just hoofing it. There was no one there. Martinelli was also back. Kai Havertz was also back. And there was no outlet to actually hit to. That's the criticism I have personally, is the loss of control.
Yeah, so I hear you, and the hoofing, like, sometimes you have to adapt to on the go. You have to adapt to exactly what is happening to you on the go. The first thing that I said when we started the stream, when I said it was clear to me that Brighton wasn't going to beat us in this game if we had 11 players, because they couldn't do it when we had 10. So that already tells me that regardless of what anybody wants to say, at the end of the day, it was a tie. If they can't beat me when we have 10 players, they weren't going to beat us when we had 11 players. Hoofing the ball away, getting the ball out of play, conceding 19 shots, but not allowing them score any apart from the one goal that they scored, simply also says a lot about this team. It simply also says a lot about this team. This time last season, we may have lost this game. These were the type of games where we dropped 3 points instead of 2. I'm not happy with a point. I'm not happy with Declan's choice to touch the ball, because I call that a touch. That was not a kick. A kick is what Joao Pedro did, 50 yards in the first half. That's kicking the ball away. And he didn't get a card for that. There's a difference between a touch and a kick. I'm not going to sit here and say because it's I'm not trying to butt side, but I'm just going to, for me, it is very clear that defensively, we were at least doing whatever it took. And sometimes you have to do that. You don't have to look pretty. You don't have to look nice. You don't have to be. It's not every game that we're going to control. I think we can learn from this and say, well, as players, like maybe next, because another risk is playing out the back with 10 men and trying to control the game. They have an extra player. They nick that ball. You're in trouble. You're already pinned. Give yourself breathing room.
Let me ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
And this question also applies to you, Souls. 1 point gained or 2 point dropped?
2 point dropped.
Souls?
2 point
I agree. 2 points dropped.
2 points dropped.
Because of the scenario, we were 1-0 up when the red card happened. I feel like we could have managed a bit. Look, I know I've gone a bit on the squad. It's more I blame Declan Rice more than any of the other situations. But for me, this could have been handled better, in my opinion. And I feel like there were moments, like, I agree with Dio, and I've said it as well. Like, the hoofball, I've got nothing against the approach or the idea of what we were trying to do. But as like Arsenal Football Club, and as those finer margins needed to be created, I feel like we needed to kill their momentum where we could, just in phases. I'm not saying like, don't do hoofball at all, or I'm not with the Twitter fans where, they want to criticize every single thing. But for me, it was like, you have to find a way to kill that momentum. The hoofball was not working. So we needed to just, at points, like even for 5 minutes in the game, just try and hold the ball, just try and gain control of that situation. And I feel like for the whole second half, especially since that red card situation, we didn't even attempt to control the game.
Let's talk about your agent, Kai Havertz. Another goal, another great start to the game, but later on in the game couldn't capitalize on a couple chances. Would you say he had a mixed performance? Because that's what it seemed like to me. But I was happy in the first half when he scored his goal. Already has 2 goals, 1 assist early in the season, looking really good. Bukayo Saka has 3 assists, 1 goal himself. He's looking good also. We dropped 2 points, in my opinion. But by the end of the game, with Raya making those wonder saves, I feel like it's 1 point gained based on the fact that we were in a situation where we could easily drop points. But yeah, call it what you want. But I just want to give Kai Havertz, even though we drew, I just want to give Kai Havertz his flowers, because a lot of people are saying we need a striker. I hear it. We do need more attacking depth, but we didn't end up buying that striker in the January window. But Kai Havertz is still delivering. I think he deserved a little bit of credit.
No, I mean, he's such a Marmite player. He's my guy, and I'll keep defending him. But I also can be honest and evaluate the performance as a whole. And I feel like it's a Marmite performance. It's it's a love and hate performance, really, because my issue is, I've always said it, I don't think we need a number 9. The reason is because we need a specialist number 9, not necessarily a Haaland, but we need someone who's got the ability to also finish, but also create. Because the problem is a lot of our chances, even today, that we did create came at the heart of Havertz being involved in them as well. And that's kind of where our problem comes with the number 9 is, if we, for example, take away and we bring in an Erling Haaland, we just don't have enough creative outlets, in my opinion, who can create those consistent volume of chances for the striker. Whereas when you look at Man City, for example, they've got multiple creative outlets who can bring the ball to Haaland or find a way to get Haaland involved in the game, because Haaland doesn't involve himself in the game. That's the whole role that he needs to play. He's a bit more of a fox in the box, a poacher, which, by the way, isn't a criticism on Erling Haaland. It's just that's his advancements. Whereas when you look at
Kai Havertz was shit. What are we talking about? His goal was good.
I wouldn't say he was shit.
Just ignore. There's certain things you ignore when you see. People have their agendas. They're going to say what they want to say. If you want to objectively look at the game, you can't say that. Sorry, Saul, carry on. I apologize. Sorry.
It wasn't. Look, it wasn't like I said. It's a Marmite performance. I'm not going to say it was an excellent performance, but I kind of understand where people are coming from, where they say we don't know how to evaluate this performance, because the chance created for Saka, for example, brilliant. The goal he scored, brilliant. Then obviously he had that opportunity where it was 1-on-1. But again, that's a moment that he kind of created for himself. Brilliant ball, by the way, but it's the way he touched it and then accelerated past the defender that created the opportunity. Now, the only disappointment was his shot choice there. I feel like he should have gone for another chip, because that's
I just think that was a good save by the goalkeeper. Kai Havertz, go back and look at that shot. Another thing that we don't give credit for is the opposing team. They didn't come to sell ice cream. People need to realize that you're playing the team that it's not like they're selling peanuts and ice cream on the pitch. That's not what those players came there to do. The goalie, that was a good save. There's a big and we've seen this happen to some of the best players. And whenever we talk, Egal, remember earlier before the stream started when I said when people use Haaland as a yardstick, I just laugh. You cannot point at two Erling Haalands in the world right now. There's no other striker like Erling Haaland. So let's not try to use him as a yardstick, because you're never going to find. He's the exception to the rule. If we look at the norm of strikers from last season till this season, barring Erling Haaland and Cole Palmer, Kai Havertz had the highest GA. And when people don't want to talk about this, it just makes me feel like they intentionally just want to shit on the player, right? Today, it was a very mere performance from Arsenal. To me, that's what it was. It was a mere performance. It was like, whatever. Like, you guys can do better. That's the way the performance was to me. But
I thought Brighton had two good players, Chris Kavanagh and Pedro, Joao Pedro. That's it.
Yeah, but
what's his name? Minta or something?
Minta.
Minta. Yeah.
What's the Asian bloke? What's his name?
Mitoma.
Is that
that's the other guy?
It's that Minta. It's their other attacker.
Minty.
I was actually going to talk about this guy for a second. Did you see how Saka had these fullbacks on toast? Like, it's not even fair anymore. Whenever Saka plays against anybody, he just has them on toast. He could have done so much better in that first half. Also, he got an assist, beautiful assist, left dunk for dead, but we could have got way more from this matchup. It was so unfair. He was
it's 2 points lost for me, but at the same time, like I said, when you remember, I don't know if it was Souls, you were here the other stream when I was saying we're not going to win every game, but in some games we just need to not lose. You remember when I said that? Like,
you said that a few.
And honestly, for me, these are the kind of things I'm talking about. Where, okay, fine, he tapped the ball away. He didn't kick that ball away. That's not but it's the rule. So you enforce the rule. Great. Okay, you enforce the rule. It's cost us a red card, because I'm sure in his mind he's thinking, I just shifted the ball away. I didn't kick it away. It's not like he swung his feet and kicked. He just went to tap the ball away. Like, for me, I'm sure he's thinking that's not an offense. Like, and the referee decided to enforce the rule, which is fair. You have to enforce the rule. It was stupid of you to even let your feet touch the ball, even though you were backing the ball. But my thing is this kind of scenarios that we now need to find ourselves and say, well, we can't lose these games. Like, if we had dropped 3 points in this game, I would be more livid. This is what happened with us against Aston Villa last season.
There's one more thing I want to talk about. Were you guys unconvinced by Ben White's performance? Because a lot of people on social media were really going in on Ben White today, saying Mitoma destroyed.
My God. Yo, I need to know who these fools are so I can block them. I've got no time for fools.
There's currently about 200.
I'll be honest with you, Ben White and David Raya saved us
about Ben White and Mitoma.
Nah, Ben White and Raya saved us today. That's the plain and simple truth of it.
you do realize that Twitter is just a place where people just like because they can hide behind their phones, they can just come there and vent and say whatever nonsense they want to say. That's how I look at that platform. That's why I don't take anything they say seriously. I look at what I watch. I look at the stats myself. I read up on the stats. I watch the game again. I have it recorded when I'm watching, so I can go back to the positions and clip things and look at it and ask questions. And then I look at the rule book and then I compare everything and say, okay, well, this is what it is for me. So yeah, Ben White had his off time against Mitoma, which would happen in any game. Like these guys came to play football too. It's not like they're not professional footballers. Ben White is not going to be a standout 110.
So you guys thought he played well?
He played well. I think he played well. If he didn't play well,
after the red card, it was one of the key reasons why we didn't concede more.
Yeah, and to be fair,
I thought he was one of the guys that was always involved, but people are just gonna look at one moment where Mitoma does a hair flick around him and then they go mad.
Yeah, that's the part. Like they see you dribble past once and they hold on to that one incident or two incidents in 90 minutes and they try to blame and say, oh well, you got cooked, you got this, and I'm like, it happened twice in 90 minutes, And remember, we played with 10 men for a total of about 60 minutes.
I wanted to talk about Trossard. Not as impactful as last time.
I told you, man.
Is he better off the bench?
How many times have I told you Trossard is not the answer to the Martinelli situation? I'm so glad we should sign Raheem Sterling because I'll be honest with you, I'm not even, and this isn't, I hate to say this as well, it hurts me to say this, but Martinelli and Trossard are going to have to hold the bench because neither one of them look, Trossard for me is an impact player, and that's his best role for this team. Now, the reason why I say that is because when we start, we don't start the way we end the game. When we end the game, it's the intensity is a lot higher, the volume of chances are a lot higher, especially when we're chasing a game, for example. That's where I feel like, Trossard excels. When a team is tired and they're exhausted, he pops up in the right areas and he has that clinical edge to get it over the line. But the problem is that Trossard's overall game for me isn't enough to start a game, but it's to end a game because of how he naturally plays. Martinelli's problem right now is whether we want to talk about it's the disconnect on the left-hand side, whether we want to talk about it's the left-hand side midfielder and Zinchenko or Calafiori or Timbers. I don't know. You can blame whoever you want. But Martinelli has a problem as well. And that's why I feel like Raheem Sterling was signed. I personally think Raheem Sterling's going to start on the left-hand side for us.
You know what? I was gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Raheem Sterling on the next time we meet. But let's just finish off with the player ratings before we have to go. As you guys know, my Saturday nights I like to do stuff. I don't want to be here for too long. Do me a favor, guys. Give us any comments or questions you have in the chat so we can try to answer them. Deo, Souls, if you have anything that you want to discuss before we go to the player ratings, please do let me know. We have 184 of you guys in the chat right now. Do me a favor, please hit that like button. It helps the channel out massively. Let's try to get this video at least past 250 likes. That will mean so much to me. But yeah, we got Brandon in the chat saying, stop this with this robbery rubbish, guys. We had chances to win the game. We didn't take them. It's just like last season.
Nobody said anything about anybody being robbed. We're just talking about everything that happened before that foul was given and the second yellow card, which is all I discussed.
The title. He's talking about the title, I think.
Yeah, he's talking about or the title.
I think the refereeing decision was scandalous. And you could argue that was a robbery. A lot of people are saying that. That's how I felt after the game. I'm not going to change it now that I'm a couple hours later.
Can I just say, because a lot of people seem to be getting on Odegaard's back, right? Don't get it twisted. I do think
people don't like Odegaard.
Yeah. I think after 30 minutes, I kind of agree. He did kind of fall off the pace a little bit. But in the first sort of like 20 to 30 minutes, the man was phenomenal. He was the one linking everything up. Him and Saka and the link up that they had at the very beginning of the game was perfect. I do understand the criticism of he did fade away as the game went on. But as soon as
he got tackled, that's what happened. For 10 minutes, if you watch him, go back, and that's why I always record the matches. I went back and watched him. After he got tackled for 10 minutes, Odegaard was limping.
He looked injured.
He was limping for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I watched it. Like when he got tackled, for the next 10 minutes, every time the camera panned around him or the ball came towards him, you could see the way he was running. And I was like, oh, something is wrong with this guy. And now it's not an excuse. You're professional. Do what you need to do or signal the bench to get you out. You see what I'm saying? Signal the bench, tell them you're hurt, let them, swap you out. Like, don't take that risk. If you feel that after 2 minutes you're not able to move the way you should be moving, it's no excuse. But as soon as he got that tackle, as soon as he got that knock, you could tell the difference. He was playing very well before the knock. It's the same thing with the red card. We were playing okay. Like I said, I don't think Brighton would have won this game.
Bro, Standard
If we
FC
had
just
11.
don't like Standard FC just don't like him because he tries to he tries to rally the crowd and get people going. I don't know, it's weird.
What did they expect? He shouldn't rally the crowd?
They don't think he's.
I think the crowd should just be making noise to the point where the players don't have to keep flipping asking them to make noise.
Yeah, but
That's
sometimes
what I'm sick and tired of.
listen, but you see, Sauls, you're right. The crowd should, but when the crowd is not, and sometimes you need them to do it, then you just. I mean, we're not the only club that does it. It makes me laugh.
Bro, there's people who are saying Fabio Vieira is going to take his spot. There's people who are saying Charlie Patino is going to take his spot. Do people not realize that Odegaard is
the prize of the season? They go, yeah.
Some people
I'm gonna answer. So everybody's saying that Brighton would have beaten us. Come on, they had the better chances. Tommy,
Brighton
hold on.
couldn't beat us.
Hold on. Tommy, Brighton could have. We had 10 men. They did not. I would like you to address that. Like we had 10 men and they could not beat us. It turned out to be a draw, to a tie. I'm unhappy about the tie, but the fact that you could not beat a 10-man Arsenal and you could not come in there and beat us 2-1, then you could not have beaten us with 11 men on the pitch. That's just logic.
All I have to say is Martin Odegaard haters are weird. I think you can be critical of players, but if you're gonna just straight up hate on the captain of the club for no apparent reason, that's weird. And I find it comes from a certain set of fans, and at times I question what is their agenda against Odegaard. Like, what has he done for them to say he's not this good of a player? Like, and those are the same people who clown on Bruno for just getting GA. But when Odegaard is doing all the other things that they clown on Bruno for, they want to clown him for what?
Like most of our rivals, most of the Premier League actually put him in contention for Player of the Season and their predicted Player of the Season.
Odegaard is highly rated.
So it's just a funny narrative. I don't understand where it comes from. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. But narratives and agendas come out when we have results like this. It's every time.
Yeah, hence why I don't take these things seriously. Like when I hear people say something, I just ignore it, because the truth is, you can see what the player does.
The same people who hate on him say if he gets injured, we're fucked.
Yeah. I mean, and the people like, he's so useless, he's not good. But where's his replacement? If Odegaard gets injured now, like, I'm like, hold on, pause. Is he bad or is he good? Like, you need to pick a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is where I don't take them seriously, because in one breath, who's our backup for Odegaard? In the next breath, Odegaard is crap in this game. Odegaard did not do anything in this game. Odegaard cannot play. So why do you want a backup for a crap player? If you think he's crap, why are you worried about getting? Why not get rid of him and get somebody else?
I think some of it does stem from the James Maddison. Like, they back James Maddison to be better than Odegaard, so they kind of
support Spurs. Then what the fuck?
No, so it's about player preference, Egal. It's not even about the club. It's like they would have preferred for us to sign James Maddison, which is what some of these people, not necessarily all, some.
They would have preferred us to sign Emerson Royale over Tomiyasu.
I hear you, but that's what I'm saying.
I remember this one.
Listen, I agree with you, but that's their preference, and they will die on that hill. You have to realize
there were people who were saying we should have signed Lewis Dunk over Ben White.
But that's what I'm saying, Egal. So those kind of people want to die on that hill to try to. So every time there's a game like this, that's when they come out and say stuff like, "Look, Ben White didn't play well. Lewis Dunk would have done a better job." But you don't hear them say when Ben White is playing well. You don't hear them say those things. So they want to still back what they believed and die on that hill by using games where we actually fall short as a measurement. You know, they don't use the entire season as a measurement. They just use those one-off games.
All right, let's get into the player ratings. As we're pretty much done all the narratives, there's not much more to talk about. First, we're going to begin with another great performance from David Raya. I think
he gets a 9, straight 9. I don't even care.
How the hell did he save that open goal where the guy had the whole goal and he shot it? It seemed like he shot it close to him, but once again, doing his job. I was going to go 8.5.
No, he single-handedly at least kept us in this. I'll give
him
a 9.
About 9s. Like,
that's a 9 for me. That's a 9. Don't.
Right.
It's
9.
2-1. That's a 9. Raya gets a 9, man. Forget it.
All
I mean,
right.
he did what he
And
needed to do. as a
I'm not
goalkeeper.
even his biggest advocate, but I'm saying it's a 9 performance from him.
Yeah, he
All
did
right,
what he
you give
needed to
him
do
a
as a
9.
goalkeeper.
Ben
He
White.
did his job. I'll give Ben White a 7.
7.
So
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Yeah,
I'll give him a 7.
Solid.
I think honestly, he did what he needed to do. He probably got cooked once or twice in 90 minutes. I don't judge that as being cooked. If you can't cook me for 45 minutes straight on my player, then you didn't cook nothing.
Now, everyone gets dribbled past once or twice. Look at
Yeah.
Ruben Diaz scored an own goal. You're not going to say now he's a crap defender just because that happened.
Very
So-
true.
And Mitoma cooks everyone, man.
At least once. Yeah. You can look.
Yeah.
Look. There's always going to be a moment a player beats you. That's always going to happen.
Yeah. People don't realize this Mitoma boy went to study how to dribble. Yeah, he had
Yeah, he had a
It's not-
dissertation. Yeah.
Yeah, this boy did a whole dissertation on how to dribble in his masters or something like that. So let's not even.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. It's famously
He did a whole dissertation. He literally chose to go study, I think, food and like health and nutrition first or something before coming to play professional football, so he could figure out what he would eat. He did a dissertation on how to dribble. Like, dude, he's a geeko. He will find his dribble. He will find his angle to dribble. You forget it.
Cyborg.
Okay. So what are we giving him? 7.
7. Yeah, I can agree with a 7. I think solid. Just solid.
Saliba, 8, 7.
No.
No. He's got to get a 6. I think. I don't think it was his best.
6.
game. Yeah, I don't. Gabriel and Saliba, I think it was a 6 today. I just think they were just slightly below what I wanted them to be, but not in a bad way. Just I don't know. Just there was a few moments I was like, "You're not the reason why we're in this tie." That's my opinion, though. I'm just saying my opinion.
Saliba. I think maybe Saliba played well. But just I tend to not be able to separate him and Gabriel. So whenever anything happens, I just kind of think of both of them as a duo in my head. It's so hard to just be like, oh, let me just look at Saliba alone. Gabriel and Saliba together, I'd give them an average of 6.5. Like both of them together. I'd say both of them, like what they both, yeah. I think 6. That's a 6.
Okay,
It's a 6.
1 second. Let me just prepare this because I'm gonna try to tweet this out today. So we went with Raya. We went with 7. Ben White. We went Raya. We went 8.5, or was it 9? 9.
No, we went 9.
He's man of the match. Ben White. We went 8 or 7.
7.
Saliba, we're going 6.
And Gabriel, you can.
And Gabriel, both of them together. I think both of them are
Gabriel's
6. Yeah.
Then Timber has to get the worst rating. Then one of the worst ratings out of the defense. He's gonna get a 4 or 5.
Why?
I thought he was quite shaky today.
In moments, yeah, I kind of agree.
I thought he was quite shaky. Yeah, and the pure
I'd say
luck,
5.
the pure luck of his path leading to a goal. But outside of that, he didn't really do much, and he almost got injured. Luckily, he's not injured.
Is he not injured? Okay, yeah, because I was going to say
just a cramp. It's just a cramp.
Okay,
but I'm
I'd
going to
say
go
5.
5 or 4. What are you guys saying?
No,
5.
I think 5. I think you're right.
Because he offered something else going up front as well. We saw what he was able to do there. We can't just ignore and just say because of that one incident or those 2 incidents, that's why we're going. Because that's the problem with when we rate players. We need to rate them overall in the whole game. What did they contribute positively and what did they contribute negatively? We can't just rate them based on the negative. So I think on the positive, I'd say 5.
All right. Then I'm going to be equally as harsh on Thomas Partey. The midfielder was very non-existent today. I'm going to give him a 5 also.
I'm leaning more towards a 4. I feel like what I wanted to see from Thomas Partey, especially going a man down, was a little bit more of a hold that ball, just hold it on, a little bit more composure from him. But I understand the game plan kind of changed, and it's hard because I don't know how much of it's the game plan and how much of it was Partey losing a bit of composure. But for me, it's a 4 today.
What are you saying?
I'd say 5. I'd say 5.
Look,
I'd say 5, and I think most of the people that we want to point at and we want to say, oh, play poorly, I'd give them a 5 because we're playing with one man down, man. Let's call a spade a spade. It's never easy when you play with one man down. You're going to have to cover more spaces, more gaps. You're going to have to deal with a bunch more stuff that normally you would not have been dealing with, and that in itself, puts a lot of toll on you. So for me, some of these players actually deserve the 5 because they are not just doing their job; they're now
If we're
doing the
gonna
job of
give them
Declan Rice.
5, what are we gonna
No.
give Declan Rice?
I'll let you guys go first.
I'd give Declan a 4, man.
Declan Rice gets
He gets a 4 from me.
he gets a 3.
Well, for me, I'll give it a 4.
He got sent off. It's harsh,
Yeah,
but he got sent
yeah,
off.
but the way I see the sending off, like I said, I look at it holistically. I'm not just looking at him touching the ball. I think that sending off was too soft. That's what I think, based off of everything that happened. It's not like he kicked the ball and hoofed it away. We saw that happen with another player, Joao Pedro. He did not even get a yellow card for that. So for me, that's inconsistent with what the referee did throughout the game. Bukayo Saka slowed down the game when he stopped. He took the ball and threw it up in front of the referee. Why didn't he give Saka a yellow card? And when Raya did it, he gave Raya a yellow card again. So the inconsistencies were too much for me. I am not going to blame Declan. He was walking away from the ball. The only thing I blame for is just letting his feet touch that ball and moving it out of the way. That's all I blame him for. You letting the ball touch your feet because you were walking away, you were backing the ball. You see the ball, you should have just let it keep rolling. That's all you should have done. So yeah. I would still give him a 4.
I don't like this midfield trio, to be honest with you. And I've said this obviously on previous streams as well, where Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Odegaard for me just don't work. I feel like it needs to be one of Rice or Odegaard. Rice or Partey. But
hey, we're gonna have one of Rice or Partey versus Tottenham.
Well, it's going to be Partey, can't be Rice. But yeah, I think today I'm going to give him a 3 just because I don't even think even before the red card that he had.
You agree with me for once?
Yeah, I don't think he had him. I mean, I would have given him lower, but I don't want to be too harsh either. But it's just for me, I don't think he had much of an impact even prior to his red card. So it's a 2 or a 3 for me.
The next guy we're going to give a rating to is Martin Odegaard, and I'm giving him another 5. Not his best game, but he also was kind of injured, so I'm not going to punish him for it. 5 is fair. Bang average performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think
it was a bang average performance from the whole team, to be honest. The whole team played the bang average thing. But
so in that case, can we also give Trossard a bang average performance? Or
Trossard is getting a 4.
Yeah, he was not. He did nothing.
I'm cool with giving him a 4, below average. But maybe it's because he came off the bench that he was so effective last time.
But we've already said this, Egal. We've said that Trossard, Martinelli and Trossard are both impact players at this point.
Martinelli Saka for me gets a 6 or a 7.
6.
You got the assist was really good though.
Oh, it was a beautiful flick on.
Yeah, but not even just a flick on. I think the way that he used his body strength, I think everything about that.
He beat Lewis Dunk to an aerial duel. That's amazing.
Yeah, but it's the way he's smart about it. That's the thing. Like I feel like that whole portion of that game was brilliant from him. And I also think, obviously, before the red card, like the way he was tearing their side apart.
What are we saying though? 7s?
7, yeah.
Yeah,
Kai Havertz. Then, if we're giving all these people 7s, we got to give Kai Havertz a 7 also.
But Kai Havertz does get a 7. The only thing he did well. We can agree or disagree on this, but
my point is if we're going to give Saka a 7,
but it was just the one chance he had that was like, if you really want to critique his performance, it's that one chance. Could he have done better, or was it a good save? Whatever. I don't really want to argue it, but
he did make a good pass to Saka. Also.
That's what I'm saying. Good pass, scored a goal. It was just one chance he missed that you could have sat there and gone, could he have done better? But that's it.
Really. Or you could have sat there and said that was such a good save. Like the way we say to Raya, we're like, oh, Raya, such a good save. The other players like, look, I put the ball in the place where you shouldn't be saving it. So,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like we can argue both.
No, Saka on any other day he scores that. That's true. What about the bench? Can we just count them as 1? Calafiori, Martinelli, and Zini.
No, Calafiori, we need to talk about this geezer. What a player have we signed here? I feel like when he came on, the way
that he's not new toy.
No, because there's moments in that game under pressure where he turned out very well. Like for the size this guy has, for the mass that this guy carries as well, he's actually quite agile,
All right. I'm saying for his cameo where he played 30 minutes.
I mean, I don't want to rate the bench because I feel like they came in a situation which was.
I was gonna rate them all together.
I think
Already?
I think I'd give all of the bench. If that means you have to give an average. So you have to rate Zinchenko, Calafiori, all these guys, put them
I
together,
was
and
just
then
going
do
to
an
give them
average.
all 5s.
I was going.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to rate them because I feel like the situation they came on for, they just couldn't do anything.
And because one of them, some of them played very, very well.
Okay, so
while others-
NA for Martinelli and Zinni, but Calafiori gets a 5.
I'd actually say 6 or a 7. You know,
6 or 7. Damn.
I
You're
think people
really impressed with his performance.
it's the
But
signs.
we
I'm
understand
seeing.
we're
It's the
defending. It's
signs.
quite easy. It's quite easy for a defender to come in and just defend for the last.
No. Forget that. I've not even talked about the defense. Like what I'm talking about is this, right? So there were moments where he was passed the ball into, 2 players came and pressed him, and he turned out of that and made the pass and initiated an attack straight away. And these are the small things that I'm looking at, because obviously if we're looking at him playing that left back position, maybe not playing centre back, I'm not too sure yet. We don't know exactly where he might be
Okay,
playing.
so we'll give him a 6. But then what about Zinni and Martinelli?
They're hard. They're hard because like Martinelli didn't have an impact really, but that's not his fault. So I can say
Zinni came in the 80th minute. Martinelli came in the 75th minute. So
I say
I
5.
personally think let's just not rate them both for 10 minutes. Forget it.
Yeah.
Because we got enough time of Calafiori to rate him. And Arteta, I'm gonna give Arteta a 7. I really do think he managed the win. It's just Declan Rice's situation really put us back.
Well, what time did Calafiori come on?
He came in almost
59th
immediately
minute.
after.
59th minute.
Yeah, almost immediately after the red card.
59th minute.
Like the play continued, and as soon as play went out,
no, he came on after the goal was conceded.
That's what I wanted. Yeah. That's what I remember, right? So for that reason, I'm gonna say 4, because I feel like Calafiori should have come on earlier.
But you do realize that the play continued and Calafiori was warming up to come on, then the goal was scored. You do realize that Calafiori was told to get up, his beep was off. If you go back and watch it, he was already out ready to come in. Play was going on and the ball had to go out of play before that goal was scored. So wasn't like
for a good 10 minutes the ball was in play. Maybe actually, yeah, it does.
Yeah, the ball was
all right. So I'm gonna read out the ratings to everybody. So these are the ratings. So we've gone with Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel. Sorry, let me read out the numbers. 9 for Raya, 7 for White, 6 for Saliba, 6 for Gabriel, 5 for Timber, 5 for Partey, 3 for Rice, 5 for Odegaard, 4 for Trossard, 7 for Kai, 7 for Saka. Let me just scroll down. How do I scroll down? There we go. And then finally, Zinni and Martinelli get NA, Calafiori gets 6, and Arteta gets 5, 7, 6. What are we saying?
He has to look. He set the team up to
6.
I think he set the team up to win. I think that red
5
card
or
was very
7.
soft, and
I'm going 7.
And I think that regardless of what anybody says, Brighton could not beat a 10-man Arsenal, which means they would not have beaten an 11-man Arsenal. That's what I think.
No, but it's a different mentality, though, Dio. Like we don't know. They're 2 different situations.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm just saying, like,
but 11-man Arsenal wouldn't defend, so maybe they find an opening. We don't like. It's a hypothetical that we're talking about.
All right. Yeah. Finally, what do we do about Man City? These guys keep scoring goals.
We hire pickpockets. No, I'm only joking.
Nah, on a real though. What do we do about Man City?
We just focus on ourselves. Forget what they've done. Okay, yeah, they won today. Cool. Brilliant. Well done to them. But we need to focus on ourselves. The idea, like what we need to understand, right, is like when you're looking at performances, stop looking at what the other person's doing. As a fan base, yes, we can look at it, watch the games, whatever, analyze their performance, cool. But as like a club or as players, we just need to ignore the fact they won and just keep doing our thing. Because the reality of the matter is, no matter how good Man City are, there will come a point where they also drop points. They may lose a game. They may draw a game. There might be an injury that affects them. So we just need to keep doing our thing and just hope that we can capitalize on a misfortune that they have.
I think it's a long season, and I think people need to realize that Man City will have their slip-ups. Erling Haaland won't score a hat-trick every freaking game. It's just not tenable. But yeah, Man City is Man City. I don't know why people are surprised that they beat West Ham. Like, I think anytime we drop points, if you guys are going to throw your toys at a Prem, it just shows that you're not mature enough yet and not ready to prepare for yourself for a long haul for the whole entire season. It's a long season, people. And if you remember last year when we dropped points versus Fulham, everyone lost their shit. One thing about the fan base, we've grown a little bit. This drop points, I'm not hearing anybody saying that the league is over. Or else, did anyone say that while you guys were on the terrace? Because I didn't hear that.
I don't think the panel said it, but I think a few chatters came in.
Have you not been looking at your own child? We're not winning anything this season. This game is over. It's already, people are already writing all that nonsense. Look,
these people are cocks.
It's 35 more games. We'll see what happens. I just, for one, I'm unhappy with the score.
City, that's what
unhappy with the scoreline, but I will say this: I'm happy we didn't lose the game.
I agree.
In losing this game would have meant that we don't know how to handle being one man down. We don't know how to hold our heads up when it comes to getting a red card. It would have showed a lot of loopholes. But the fact that regardless of how chaotic it was, we ended up not losing the game. We found a way to hoof the ball, wumble and fumble to the final whistle. Well, hey, if that's what it takes to get you over the line, then wumble and fumble to the final. I don't care. We will not always look good. That's the truth. We will not always look good.
And you know what? We're gonna have to end it up here, guys. I think this has been a good little review. It's good that we kind of waited a little bit also, so it kind of gave us time to debrief. But yeah, for now, we're gonna wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys enjoy yourself. We got an international break also, so we're gonna have to regroup and have conversations during the international break. And by the way, if you want to be blocked, you can be blocked. It's up to you. Making fun of people. You're not gonna come in here and try to make fun of me. What do you think this is? Anyways, let's we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Souls, Deo, you got anything to say before we go?
I just
no game for 2 weeks. Peace out, lads. I'm chilling.
You know what I'm gonna do? For the next 2 weeks, I'm just gonna figure out what the hell we're gonna do and have a conversation. Because Arsenal, there's gonna be some sort of meltdown. Somebody's gonna get injured, or somebody's gonna have a surgery, or somebody's gonna have a procedure, and people are gonna freak out. Hopefully it's not Odegaard. Hopefully. Anyways, we're out of here, people. Peace. Catch you guys in the next one. Please do hit the like button on the way out, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Love for the love, people. Deo, Souls, and everybody who's watching. Appreciate it. Peace.